Welcome to aminacademy.com. In astronomy, let us discuss about exploration of the moon. Most of what we know about the moon today derives from the US Apollo program, which sent 9 piloted spacecraft to our satellite between 1968 and 1972, landing 12 astronauts on its surface. Before the era of spacecraft studies, astronomers had mapped the side of the moon and that faced Earth with the telescopic revolution of about 1 kilometer. But lunar geology hardly existed as a specific subject. All that changed beginning in the early 1960s. Initially, Russia took the lead in lunar exploration with Luna 3, which returned the first photos of the lunar far side in 1959. And then with Luna 9, which landed on the surface in 1966 and transmitted pictures and other data to Earth. However, these efforts were overshadowed on July 20, 1969, when the first American astronauts set foot on the moon. It summarizes the 9 Apollo flights, 6 that landed and 3 other that circled the moon but did not land. Now we'll discuss further about exploration of the moon so far now. Lunar exploration encompasses the scientific study of the physical exploration of the moon, aiming to understand its formation, evolution, and current state. This includes robotic probes, human missions like Apollo, and modern efforts like Artemis program. The moon has been explored through the observations from Earth and more recently through direct visit and studies using rovers, landers, and orbiters. Historical context. The moon lunar exploration began with observation through telescopes and later with robotic missions like Luna 2 and US range program. Human mission. The Apollo program culminated in 12 humans walking on the moon between 1969 and 1972. Robotic exploration. Numerous missions, including lunar orbiters, landers, and rovers, have studied the moon's surface and composition. Scientific objectives. Lunar explorations aims to understand the moon's origin, composition, structure, and potential resources. What are the future missions? Programs like NASA's Artemis program are planned human mission to the moon, including landing at the South Pole. Key milestones in lunar exploration. In 1959, Luna 2 USSR was the first spacecraft to reach the moon's surface. In 1966, Luna 9 USSR achieved the first soft landing on the moon. 1969, Apollo 11 US achieved the first human lunar landing with Neil Armstrong and Buzz Aldrin. In 1969 to 1972, 6 Apollo missions landed humans on the moon. 2000 present, several nations, US, China, India, Japan have launched lunar orbiters, landers, and rovers, including the Chandrayaan-1 and Changi's missions. In 1920s to present, the Artemis program is planning for human missions and resource utilization on the moon. Further, Apollo flight to the moon. The Apollo program was United States human spaceflight program led by NASA, which successfully landed the first human on the moon in 1969. The Apollo 11 mission in July 1969 marked the first time humans walked on the moon, with Neil Armstrong and Buzz Aldrin becoming the first to set foot on the lunar surface. The mission fulfilled a national goal set by President John F. Kennedy in 1961. The aspects of the Apollo missions. What are the aspects? The primary objective of the Apollo program was to land humans on the moon and return them safely to the Earth. Mission. The Apollo program included multiple missions with 6 lunar landing missions, Apollo 1, 11, 12, 14, 15, 16, and 17. In Apollo 11, this mission is particularly famous for being the first to land humans on the moon. Lunar surface exploration. Astronauts on the lunar landing missions explored the lunar surface, collected samples, deployed scientific instruments, and conducted experiments. Lunar roving vehicles (LRV). Some missions like Apollo 15 and 17 used the LRV to travel further distances on the lunar surface. Scientific significance. The Apollo missions contributed significantly to our understanding of the moon's composition and geological history. Timeline. Look at these timelines. From 1961, President Kennedy sets the goal of landing a man on the moon and returning him safely to Earth. In 1969, Apollo 11 mission lands human on the moon. In 1972, Apollo 17 mission, the last lunar landing mission, is launched. In 2025, NASA aims to return to the moon with the Artemis program, with astronauts scheduled to land on the moon. Some international mission on the moon to the moon. Several international missions have aimed for the moon, with notable programs from the United States, Soviet Union, China, and India. These missions include both robotic spacecraft and crewed missions and have achieved various milestones, including lunar landings, sample return, and orbital mapping. The international moon missions are here. United States Apollo program aimed on manned lunar landing, culminating in Apollo 11's first successful landing in 1969. Surveyor program, a series of robotic landers designed to assess potential landing sites for Apollo program. Lunar Reconnaissance Orbiter, LRO, a robotic mission that provides detailed maps of the moon surface. Artemis program, the current program focused on returning humans to the moon and establishing a long-term presence for science and explorations. Soviet Union Lunar program, a series of robotic probes including landers and orbiters aimed at exploring the moon. China Chang's program includes robotic landers, rovers, and sample return missions, with Chang'e 4 being the first to land on the far side of the moon. India Chandrayaan program includes orbiters and landers, with Chandrayaan 1 being the first to discover lunar water ice. Japan SLIM Slim Smart Lander for investigating moon, a mission aiming to land a small spacecraft on the moon. So far we discussed about landing in the moon with different countries. That means, look at here, the exploration of the moon. We have done. Please subscribe our YouTube channel.